Welcome back everyone to Pontos, Fathom, Hobbies. This is Season 2 of Eldritch Horror, our playthrough of Cthulhu. And for the most part, I've stripped the game down to the main rules. I'm not going to be playing with prelude cards. I'm not going to be playing with backstories for the characters. So let's kind of go through the setup. I got the initial board set up. Just as a little disclaimer, Mythos cards, I've only put in the core rule Mythos cards. I noticed I've got one here that's not. Take that one out. So I'm going to make the Mythos deck from core rules. I'm going to stick mainly with the Eldritch Horror deck. There are some location cards from the other decks, so I'm just going to shuffle those in. So there is a bit of a flavor of all the expansions in here just to kind of mix it up a bit. So we do have that to look forward to. A couple other expansion style notes are we'll build the Mythos deck together. Playing with Final Mythos. These are a expansion that I played with before. Basically the mechanic is something I picked up on Board Game Geeks and printed out. These are, if you run out of Mythos cards, you can pick the Final Mythos card from this, and it offers a really cool, like, Final Mythos super grim ending. So I like to have these on the table. As I mentioned, I'll be playing Cthulhu, and we will also play with the Forgotten Endings Cthulhu cards. Again, Forgotten Endings, another mod. I've got a video where I talk about it. Basically, at the end of the game, it seems that the ending can be abrupt. So what you have here are Doomsday and Victory condition cards that we can pick through, and some closure text, let's call it, to kind of wrap things up. So we're playing Cthulhu. We've got his research cards. We've got his Mythos cards and his special encounter cards set up. Round one, we're going to be doing the setup. Just a quick shout out to the channel. August Moldenhauer, Genealogy of Cthulhu, Volume 1 of Cthulhu Journals out of Lovecraft's Providence, Volume 1. This is part of a 3-volume series. Really helped support the channel. On my Pontos Fathom Books channel, our Pontos Fathom Press channel, I not only have a review of the book, but I also will doing a read-through on the Patreon. So be sure to check that out. Click below to support us. You can also support us on Patreon by liking and subscribing if you so please. Trying to build the channel, so all the help is very appreciated. So let's get into it. Let's kind of go through the setup. First off is we've placed the board game. We've organized our tokens. I've got a token organization solution video if you guys want to check that out. These are sort of in the box builds, so I've got these organized. I've got the gate stack created. There may be gate stacks from everything. We'll just discard those as they come up. And clue token and monster bags have been set up. Got the monster bag here. I also have all monsters from all expansions, so let's spice things up with that. And good. Next, let's introduce our investigators. So, always a fun part of Cthulhu gameplay is when we have investigators. Really like it in Eldritch Horror. Also really like it in Cthulhu Death May Die, having that investigator dynamic. I try to keep this to the basic characters too, so I will be planning to do many seasons of Eldritch Horror. Love playing it, and I want to get through all the monsters. So you will see as many of these characters as we can get through. I'll have a poll out in the Patreon for you guys to pick which investigator you'd like to see in which game. I think that would be kind of fun to get your feedback, or you can leave a comment below. First up, we have Agatha Crane, the parapsychologist. Let's read a little bit about her backstory and where we're going to place her. So it says, Agatha Crane, Tokyo, Japan. She starts with Call the Storm spell, Instell Bravery spell. If you had to ask Agatha during her youth whether she held any stock in the idea of paranormal experience, she would have laughed you out of town. But Agatha has never been one to turn a blind eye to hard evidence, and these days the evidence for a world outside our perception has been piling up. Her husband Wilbur, better known than to obstruct his determined wife, knowing better than to obstruct his determined wife, and thus has bid Agatha a tearful farewell as she prepares for a legendary trip to Tokyo, where she suspects that she will find the answers she seeks. Okay, so Agatha starts with Call the Storm spell and Instill Bravery spell, and she begins on Tokyo. So let's put her token on Tokyo. She also starts with 5 health and 7 sanity. Her actions is she may perform 1 action in a ritual or tome possession and gain +2 to her lore. And once per round, she can when she passes a lore test as part of a spell effect, she can gain 1 clue. So these are great additions for Agatha. I will place her on the sideboard here with her tokens and get into playing her next. Next up, Lily Chen. Lily Chen, the martial artist. Lily Chen starts out in Shanghai, China. She has a protective amulet asset and a lucky rabbit's foot asset. Lily speaks rarely, and when she does, her words are measured and wise. After a lifetime of disciplined training, every gesture is graceful, uncluttered by hesitation. When she was an infant, an obscure sect of monks believed that she was born for a special purpose, to face a great evil. Now the monks believe that the great evil is at hand, and they have brought Lily to Shanghai to begin fulfilling her destiny. Okay, great. So, Lily is also spend any number of health or sanity and recover an equal number of health or sanity. Interesting. So she can spend them and then regain them as an action. When you improve a skill, you may immediately improve that skill again. And she starts with 6 and 6. So let's set her up. And we'll move on to our third investigator. So we've got Agatha in Tokyo. We've got Lily in Shanghai. And then finally, your favorite and mine, Norman Withers. I always liked him to play him with Cthulhu because he's the astronomer, and it kind of works well with the thematically of when the stars are right. And in the classic playthrough of Eldritch Horror with Will Wheaton, they have him somehow he ends up in the sewers of San Francisco, which is kind of a funny gag. He's going to start out in Arkham, which is always cool. Norman Withers. The scientific community ridiculed Norman for his claim that 6 stars disappeared from the sky. After exhausting every plausible astronomical explanation for answers, he took a position at Miskatonic University and began exploring more improbable possibilities in the restricted section of the library. While reading an ancient text of dark prophecy, Norman found an exact description of a phenomenon he'd observed. If the tome is to be believed, a terrible incursion into our world is imminent. Okay, so we start him on Arkham. He starts with the Feed the Wind spell. He also starts with 5 health and 7 sanity. He may spend 2 clues to discard a monster on a space or gate, because he's not a fighter, he's an astronomer. And we will set him up with his cards and his health and sanity. And then let's get on to setting up the Mythos cards. 6, 7. Okay, so he is also set up. Great. Norman Withers, Lily Chen, Agatha Crane. Okay. Determine the Ancient One. We have the Ancient One determined. We've got our dice. Adding to our dice pool. Cthulhu starts on 12. We'll mark it. we've got our monster cup. We've got our decks separated. Let's give them a quick shuffle here for our research encounter cards, for our clues, for our special encounter, and our mystery cards. I don't know that these are shuffled because we have to go through them usually, but let's just shuffle the mystery cards. And good to go. Okay, got our reference card. Now let's build our Mythos deck. So as you guys can see here, we've got green, yellow, and blue. Green, yellow, and blue. We'll shuffle those up and then we'll follow the layout for these. So yellow, quick shuffle. I've mixed in the hard, difficult, and the easy cards. So let's just play a standard game, as standard as possible, without me picking through all the decks. And I think it's a great Cthulhu tie-in. On our other channel, Pontos Fathom Press, we did my first month of the channel. We did several podcasts on H.P. Lovecraft and some various texts. So if you're interested in Lovecraft studies, can go check those out. Okay, so let's start out with the green deck. So I'll give it another quick shuffle. And stage 1, we put 0 cards. So stage 1, 0. Stage 2 is 1. And stage 3 is 1, 2, 3 for green. For yellow cards, give them a quick shuffle again. Stage 1 is 2 cards. Stage 2 is 1, 2, 3 cards. And stage 3 is 1, 2, 3, 4 cards. And then finally the blue cards. Blue cards, we just put 2 in stage 1, and that is it. So now let's move these, stage 1 to the top. Shuffle these up. Move these. Shuffle them up for stage 2. And then the final 7 cards for stage 3. Mostly of green and yellows, but mostly yellow. Okay, so stage 3 will be on the bottom, stage 2 in the middle, stage 1 on the top. And our Mythos deck is built right next to our final Mythos deck. Okay. Next is we have the number of players. Let's do a quick shuffle through of the expedition encounter cards. So expedition encounter cards, we'll give them a quick shuffle. And just kind of randomly cut it. And we have the Amazon. So place our first expedition on the Amazon. Get our Amazon expedition token on the Amazon. We'll also build our clue deck. But for now, we're going to spawn how many clues? Spawn a clue and take 1 random clue token from the clue pool and place it face down. Spawn the number of clues from the reference card. It says spawn 2 clues. So I'll just take randomly 2 clues, and I've got space 20, which is over here. 20. And wow, space 19 here. Convenient to our characters. So great. So next, spawn the number of clues. Finally, draw 1 mystery card and place it on the Ancient One sheet. So here's our mystery card. We'll place it on the sheet. and we will reveal that card in turn 1. Finally, let's grab some asset items for the reserve. So we'll just take some random set of cards. I'll just pull randomly. I've got so many of these. I'll just pull them randomly, shuffle a few areas together. And let's see, again, these are taken from across everywhere. So we get the Tome of Horrors for 3. Patrolling the Streets for 1. Lucky Cigarette Case for 2. And the Chief Inspector for 2. So there we have it. We've got some cards in the reserve. We've got our characters set up, and that will about finish our initial setup for Season 2 Eldritch Horror Cthulhu. Please click turn 1 and we can start gameplay. Like and subscribe if you like what we're doing here. Thanks a lot for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.